Welcome back into 27 News, where I'm joined now by Shawnee County District Attorney Mike Kagay. So we continue now on with our interview, and I want to ask you quickly about Dana Chandler. So we know that the third trial for her is in place for Pottawatomie County later on this year, but this is going to cost Shawnee County more money, so sending jurors back and forth using some resources here in between the two places. So can you explain a little bit more how this is going to work in between, going in between those two counties?
Well, that's a question that's better directed for the court, because the court is the one who, believe it or not, brings the jurors in. I get asked a lot of times about jury duty, so I just want to set the record straight. I have no control over who gets summoned for jury duty. I have no responsibility for the conveyance of the jurors or any of that. That is strictly a court function. So the judge, the court staff, they handle all of that. I do want to emphasize that when this motion was filed by the defense to change venue away from Shawnee County, we opposed the motion, in part because of some of the reasons you're describing. We wanted it to be done here. This is where the crime occurred. This is where the jurors would be. This is where the court would be. Certainly this is where our staff would be and the majority of the witnesses. However, the court, in its discretion, granted the motion. So now it's going to be in Pottawatomie County. And that trial, as you know, was set to go this month and has been continued until later this year, October, I believe.
All right, well, thanks for providing some clarity on that situation. And we also reported on an incident earlier this month at Most Pure Heart of Mary Catholic School here in Topeka. So a parent told us a teacher tied up his child and two others with duct tape as punishment. Topeka police did confirm this with us. Officers did respond to the Most Pure Heart and took a report there. So first, what's your initial reaction, and has this case reached your desk yet?
I can tell you that it is a case that they are presenting to us, that they are giving to us for review, and because of that, I have to refrain from commenting on the specific facts of the case. It would be unfair of me to do that.
Okay, and now some personal questions for you. When would you be possibly up for re-election if you are considering that here?
My term runs every 4 years, and it coincides with the presidential election calendar. So I ran in 2016, I ran again in 2024 would be my next cycle.
And do you plan on
oh, yes.
Possibly? Okay,
yes,
so we can plan on that in the
yes,
future.
You can plan on it. The first time I ran in 2016, I made a long-term commitment to the community, and I talked about the types of changes I'd like to see, and those do take time to implement. So I'm still very much committed to the work that we do. I believe in it. I've seen significant progress during my time in office, and because of my team and because of the partnerships that we've created with law enforcement and throughout the community, and I'm excited to continue those.
Wonderful. And just really quickly, lastly here, so are you seeking any new legislation or tracking anything currently that's going on in session? Yeah, we have a number of priorities we're working on.
The organization that I'm a part of that represents prosecutors across the state is called KCDAA. And I'm on the board, and one of our legislative priorities, actually the top legislative priority, is to address the speedy trial statute. So speedy trial, if you will recall, Katie, is the law that says that we have to go to trial within 150 days, 180 days, depending on the situation, of somebody's arraignment. There's a constitutional aspect of that is enshrined within the original Constitution that talks about a speedy trial. So everyone in the country has a right to a speedy trial. The states don't always spell it out in state law. Kansas has that and temporarily suspended it during the pandemic because we had a significant backlog of serious cases. In my jurisdiction and others, that backlog continues. And so we have that concern, and we're trying to address that with the legislature this session.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in here and giving us your thoughts on these situations. We always love hearing from you. All right, I'm going to send it over now to Becky Taylor for a quick look at our forecast.